thing behind us. I thought it was like a clothing or something, a jacket. I was gonna be like, get that out of here. It's Miss Kitty.
And she looking like no girl.
That's cool.
Welcome to episode 9, Lovecraft.
Yes. Rewind 1921. Holy child, this was another powerful episode.
Just when you thought that it couldn't get any more powerful, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go again with all the feels. So the show opens with where we left off pretty much, trying to get Dee better. And it opens with everyone blaming everyone about whose fault it is that the pickaninny caught hold of Dee. In the midst of arguing, they come to the conclusion, well, not they, Miss Ruby.
Ruby shuts it down and is like, all y'all to blame. Forgetting that she is actually who Dee was left in her care.
I'm sure you were supposed to be throwing a summer party, looking out for her while you was gone, but anyway.
Okay.
She's also the one, after saying that's asinine statement, she's also the one that decides we can ask Christina for help.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, so Tick was gonna try to leverage pages from the book for help, and Letty's like, oh, I already gave her that. So, he gets all mad, Montrose gets mad, and
with per use,
little pitbull. But yeah, she's like, you know what, Christina will do it for me.
And so we're like, okay.
All right, girl, all right. Call your little friend.
We allow her to come over. She runs through the pages, and not the D pages, the pages that Dee drew, to kind of get an understanding of the type of curse that's been put on her and what spell could be used to break it.
And I think it even had some of the words that the officer used when he cursed her. I think
it did.
I feel like there were like word bubbles coming from the
She
drawings.
said it was very detailed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So hats off to Dee, because they were able to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
She pretty much tells them that you need the police officer, Officer Lancaster, in order to reverse the spell, or needed his blood or something like that. But they told him he died in a gas explosion. Now, how y'all keep getting like,
what's the cover up? Like, how are you like? And none of the white people been watching this whole time. Everything y'all been doing in your house, and they didn't see this monster tear up all the police who were shooting up your house moments prior.
And when people came over to, like, I guess clean up
the bloodbath.
What exploded?
What was the gas explosion from?
You weren't asking where the gas exploded.
Girl.
Like, who was cleaning this up? Come on now.
Questions.
I see the reality, but can we get a little bit more reality?
A little bit more.
So Officer Lancaster died in the gas explosion, and so she was like, well, I can do a little spell. It'll reverse the curse, but Dee will still end up dying.
Yeah, basically, because it doesn't take it out of her.
Yeah,
it's just like
takes it back to what it was in the beginning, or something like that. Weird shit like that. And so they're like, all right, cool, we'll take what we can get so we can buy some time, figure out what's going on. Christina's like, okay, this is the rundown, this is what you need, closest kin of blood. What else?
Bring her temperature down.
And that was it.
That was pretty much it. Then Christina leaves to go do her business, as she does.
Her little B.I.
And who goes with her? Rubes. She dips off with her. Letty tries to not really stop her, but let her know, like, yo, you cannot trust her. And Ruby's like, she's helping me. She hasn't done anything wrong, really. And goes with her.
Well, right? Well, hold on. She does end up going with her, but remember, she goes to go see the officer by herself as William.
Before Ruby goes with her?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So when she tells them, she leaves them the facts of what to do. She leaves and goes over to see the Officer Lancaster. So we know that she knows that the man not even dead. And she knows this because she had Ruby put that rock in the drawer
Or you know what? I think she still might have thought that he was. I think she was a little surprised to see him in the closet.
Oh, maybe.
I think she went to get
fight.
it because she's like, I don't need this anymore. Because I think that was the purpose of the thing, to be able to allow him to die. The thing she had put in there.
Well, because I don't really, because nothing catastrophic had happened to him in the show where he would need to regenerate. Right?
That we've seen. But obviously he did, because we saw that he had a whole nother body.
Yeah.
His body was black.
Maybe at one, well, at least since episode 5, because we know The Rock was put in there in episode 5. So nothing had happened to him between those episodes where he would die.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she comes over, she sees them pretty much casually chopping up a black male.
To try to put his body on there. Try to once again get him to regenerate,
and it's not working.
And then they state, you know, they've tried this numerous times. We can't keep taking more bodies. It's not working. So we don't know how many black people they have stolen and cut up trying to regenerate this police chief.
Selfish ass man. Sit up here and I'm like, just casually doing this, casually in white with aprons and butcher knives, kind of like, what do you want us to do, boss? It's not working. Like, that's our whole life. But for what? Like, because he ends up dying, and Christina gets her sweet revenge to watch him die, which is like, yes. And then after that, I guess it's this scene right here.
But when does she have to talk with Ruby? When Ruby's like,
they go when she goes back and does the spell. When they go back over there, reverse the spell, and then they leave.
Okay,
that's
when
she was like,
okay.
That's when they have that conversation. So then after that, I don't even really remember what was happening in that scene with when he's drinking the moonshine.
Oh well, basically that's when he tells Tick, George might be your dad. He's like, I might not be Dee's closest blood relative. You might be her half brother. So
you would have to give up.
Now the waterworks are flying. Tick can pull some tears, boy. That is a crying man if I ever see one. But
very in touch with his emotions.
He's very in touch. And granted, like, he'd be going through it. Like, every episode, there's something, like, drastically happening in his life. Or, like, he's finding out something that he didn't know. Like, something serious. It's just poor Tick. But, so he learns that. And Letty happens to overhear, too. Because I guess she's, like,
she always catches the tea.
Yeah.
She always catches the tea.
And always just be, don't say nothing about it.
Yeah, she's just kind of there. Like, just like when they found out about that. Anyway, so she was saying, she sees the tea. Then what happens?
I think this is when they, actually, is this when Hippolyta comes back in? Because she's like, is Dee sick?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Is the shop connected to their home in some way? Or no?
Oh, that's a good question. It might be. It might be like on the bottom level.
Right, I never paid attention to it.
I don't know either. But yeah, that's a good question.
I'm gonna have to go.
Because they do go very quickly from just one to the next. And they want to just leave her there.
I know the car is like the garage.
So
I don't know.
It must be.
It's gotta be close by. So they, so as they're, I guess Christina comes back. Or something like that. Like, she comes back as soon as they get ready to start the spell.
Girl, I don't remember that.
Yes, you do. Like, Hippolyta walks in, like you said.
So Christina and Hippolyta are in the room at the same time?
Well, yeah, because the spell had to get done. I remember she was like, the blood was all over the place, and she had already transformed, and they were saying the spell.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in the same room. Now that you put it that way.
So Hippolyta comes back casually in the same clothes she left in.
Like, hello, hair a little disheveled.
A little bit.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, we don't know how she got back.
Rightfully so.
Yes.
And they kind of give her a little too, but she's kind of been like, girl, bye. I've been away for 200 years. I'm here. I heard Dee was sick. Let's do what we got.
Let's do what we got. So she even says, like, all right, all this quarreling y'all got, like, save it for later.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the time for that.
She's so, like, direct now and so straightforward and so matter of fact. Like, the plan was seamless. She came in like, this was gonna do. It's gonna take me about 3-4 hours. It's gonna be about 8 hours for me to get here. It's gonna be taking about. We need to be going now. No, pack her things. It was just kind of like everybody get in line because y'all are running around like chickens with your heads cut off. Yeah. But anyway, so she's there to give up her blood. At this point, Dee had turned fully into a pickaninny. And whatchamacallit was saying the spell. She's pouring the blood on her. It was a lot of blood coming out. Pouring the blood on her. And she's reversing back into Dee. And as she's doing that, the maggots are coming out.
That was so much.
Yeah. So the spell, pretty much that nasty ass spell, just coming out of her. And she's back.
Sort of. But like comatose back.
Comatose back.
Yeah.
She, the curse gone. We'll say that. The curse is gone.
Yeah.
And so, like I just said, Hippolyta comes through with all of the marching orders. Like, okay, so this is what we need to do.
We got to get back to the observatory.
Yeah.
And Tick is like, it's broken. She's like, I'll fix it. Like
3-4 hours. Like,
it's fine. I got it. And we're like,
no problem. But we got to move now. And so they good for a road trip, honey. It makes me think how I should just be out on the road too. I mean, it was nothing.
When it's right.
It was nothing. But then it seems like nobody got a job. So anyway,
I don't.
No, shut up. But no, I'm talking about them. Like, nobody goes to work. Like, even whatchamacallit with her new job in Marshall Fields. When the last time you been at work?
She can't go no more. She did the manager.
Yeah,
she can't go.
So that's what she ends up doing when she meets with Christina. So of course, her and what's her face have that little exchange, like you said, like. Letty.
This is the one she's like, you can't trust her. Yeah, okay.
And she was like, if you were smart, you'd come
with me.
Ain't nobody getting in your car with you, girl.
Yeah.
Did you see the meme in the Facebook group? And it was that last picture of Tupac with Suge Knight, and it said Ruby riding in the car with Christina.
No, I did not.
It was so ridiculous.
Oh gosh. Right. It's like, all right, just
gonna come.
So is this now when we see Christina and Ruby talking?
Yeah, in the basement.
Okay, yeah. So they're because Christina comes down there and Ruby's already down there.
Yeah,
and she's asking about Hillary, who we found out her name was Dell, and she's like, how did she get like this? She says your sister hit her over the head with a shovel.
So she wasn't dead, right?
Yeah, she was. I think she was kind of comatose as well, but she was keeping. I don't know. I think so. I think because she looked like she was hooked up to something.
Yeah, because once she pulled the plug, then that would
because she says I always wanted to be a redhead. So is that was like to me. So are they gonna find another one?
Yes,
to kill
you are.
Ruby?
Yes, like Ruby, you want some of
the dark side now.
But that's just very telling. Like when some certain people get like a taste of that power, right? Like like that token. We'll give you just a little, like
right.
The sixth step. We'll give you just a little bit so you can a little bit of power so you can feel like you're doing something, so you can feel like you're part of the group. Yeah. To the point now where she's fully okay with like going to go find a redhead to kill because she feels she would be better with.
Right. And also, it definitely is, but also at the times it's probably like, fuck these white people.
That too. They like, just go pick me up one.
The same way the police officer, when he needed to, was going to get these black bodies. Ruby needed a new body, right?
True.
Same
but
thing.
She's definitely creating.
But yeah, this ain't the old Ruby we've seen from day one. And I wonder if. So I'm guessing there's only one episode left. So next episode we'll probably see this redhead white woman Ruby.
Who knows?
Right?
We better not.
No, I think we. So why else would they say it, girl?
We better not.
And Christina kind of smiles at her. So she also asked her. She was like, "Were you using me?" Blah blah blah. And Christina's like, look, I saw an opportunity and I took it. Like, I feel like either way, I'm gonna get to take, but it is more helpful when you ask me to come in the house.
That lady ain't no damn trick.
So and she asked, are you going to kill Tick, right? And she's like, I need his blood. And I need all of it. And Ruby, we learn, gives no fucks about Tick at this point. She's like, all right, well, just don't hurt my sister. Cool. Or at least that's the impression that we're getting at this point. Just don't hurt my sister.
Christina, bye. You want to be immortal. Bye.
Bye.
Just bye. Just bye. Oh, yeah. bye.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of her. And but then, you know, oh, we forgot that one part because I was really like, oh, Tickle's stupid ass gonna agree to it anyway, so it don't fucking matter.
Right.
We forgot that the only reason that Christina agreed to even doing the spell is if Tick would willingly show up at the
autumnal equinox.
Boom.
So
and he said, okay.
He's like, all right, I'll do it. I gotta like save my unborn child, whatever. But so does he just think he's gonna find a way to like? This is before they decide to go back in time. So does he just figure I'll be able to survive it? Like, what is he thinking? Why is he willingly going to this?
Because I guess he figured I'm gonna die.
Oh. True, because Gia saw it.
Yeah, everybody
went to the future. It's clearly
kind of like
future
inevitable. Okay, bitch.
Oh.
He was almost saying, yeah, like, bitch, I knew you was gonna ask me that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
You already know I'm gonna be there. I've been to the future. I know I was there.
I'm gonna be there.
Damn.
And so now we go back to them at the time machine thingy.
Okay.
The
Now,
realm machine.
pause.
Okay. So we're at the realm machine.
Yeah.
I feel like time machine is such a small word.
I know. Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, realm machine. And actually, Hippolyta also mentions that what's she called, a multiverse.
Yes, multiverse machine.
Yes.
There we go. So Hippolyta gets to work. You know, that's going to be about 3-4 hours to fix it. She ends up fixing it, and she's talking about the technology in a way that we would talk about it.
Right, in 2020.
Yeah, we know about motherboards. We know about this, that, and the third. So she's pretty much just giving them the rundown like, all right, so this is what we got to do. And Letty's like, what's a motherboard?
Mm-hmm.
And
I am. Those two powerful words again.
And showed the wrist. And you remember when Beyonce was like, you don't need those anymore because you just have the ability to.
Yeah.
So it just reminds me of like just an outlet. It's there, you know, whenever you do need it, but it's not necessarily something like you've got the power. She's got the power all on her own. I don't know.
Yeah,
She's
definitely.
Fucking,
yeah,
so
dope and beautiful and amazing.
So that she shows them the wrist. They're like, and she hooks the thing up. She calibrates it to Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921, which we should all know by now, was the Tulsa Massacre when the white people lost their motherfucking mind and burned and killed. It was a pure, full-on genocide on U.S. soil,
planned out too, like organized, coordinated, just evil,
insidious. Insidious in an all-black town where we were doing what? Minding our motherfucking business.
Just existing. That's
literally. And so we rewind back to that time.
Now let me ask you something. They couldn't go back a day or two before. They have to go back that fucking day, bro.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. You could have got to know some people. You could have, and just had the notion or the feeling that we know what's going to happen. We really had to go back that day. You really had to hit it hard.
But they did. So. Lovecraft. Because, but the other thing too is like that's such close timing. Like you maybe wouldn't have been able to save the book, so why not secure that and go back like a little bit earlier?
I mean, literally, because once they get into the portal, the first thing they notice is that they're talking about a dance, and so
being
it's
canceled,
right, what they're talking about. And Montrose pretty much lets us know from face and everything. Oh, this is the day.
Like it's
the hell.
Down. He's like, y'all don't know what you about to walk into. Like
today is the day.
Woo!
I'm trying to figure out how they survived that. But anyway, the three of them.
Maybe because they were at the park.
Yeah, but then where'd they go?
Yeah, that's a good point.
To soldier on through the rest of the night, like
and their lives.
Yeah. I mean, Oh my god. So. It ends up being, we'll say a few hours before the shit goes down, before sundown.
Yeah.
How telling. Before sundown. And really we see automatically, like, before he jumps into the portal, we already see that Montrose is going to be going through.
Yeah, mentally. Like, and I think at that point, we start hearing some of his thoughts because he's going back and through his memories, but we don't know what the memories are, but we hear it.
They're like jumbled.
Yeah, because
to us.
Yeah, to us, because then when we see it later on, it's like, oh, that's what it was. But yeah, so he's already having his own PTSD moment, and
because I realized in that moment that we think that we've been hearing him whipping Tick.
Exactly. That is exactly what we thought.
That is I thought that. I thought that he was just feeling such guilt and remorse for putting his hands on Tick about that book. But then literally we walk into a situation, they walk into to go look for the homes. What they get mad about though? They got mad in the alley about something.
Well, I mean, Tick was still mad from jump, just because he had just found out you're not my daddy and you was beating me. Like, why was I accepting this for all these years just out of, okay, I gotta respect my father and you're not my father. So why, and you were beating me to not make me soft, and in, his definition, or what at the time, you soft. So it's just like, nah, I'm holistically not dealing with you.
And he was about to send him, he was about to send him off.
He's like, go back to the portal.
Yeah, get your ass out of here. But Letty coming through with the logic, he's the only one that would know where your mama stands.
Right. Like,
come on now. So they follow Angry Montrose, because he's taken off. Follow Angry Montrose to their house, and so we find out that Tick's mom and George and Montrose live next door to each other. And we walk up on childhood trauma staring Montrose in the motherfucking face. And this is when we see his father. He comes running out of the house. His father comes running out behind him, telling him to get a switch. He picked up a branch. Looked like a branch to me. I don't know.
Because the father picked it, no? Or did...
Oh, no, he told him to get it, and then the father picked it. He told him to get it. Montrose did not get it. He went and picked out a baby branch. I mean, that thing was like huge, and starts whooping him. And that's when we realized that is the dialogue that he had been hearing. His father going in on him about being soft. So what he was getting whooped for was trying on George's tux and then putting the corsage in his hair. So, and was doing this in front of everybody in the neighborhood.
Oh, was he? I thought he was doing it in the mirror.
What you mean? No, I'm talking about
the beating. Yeah. That was everybody
doing that in front of everybody in the neighborhood. It's loud. It's traumatic to the point where I think Dora comes running out of her house, which is Tick's mom, and it's like, stop, And Tick's daddy, not Tick's daddy. George? Montrose and George daddy. What is his name? I don't know.
I don't even know.
Montrose and George daddy pretty much kind of bases up on her like, you can get it too. Her daddy come out like, look, you handle your kids how you want to. Don't you lay no hands on my daughter. Right. So then we find out that it was George taking Dora to the prom.
Yeah, and George, and so earlier in episodes, we also had heard George mention that he felt he should have taken up for Montrose more, because he was smaller and all these things. But we do kind of see him just standing there while his dad is doing this. Like, he's kind of behind
Dora
him.
called it out.
Yeah.
But Montrose, from the outside looking in, it was like, she's wrong.
He
on the line, actually.
Yeah.
Which is also very telling that George feels that way. Everyone else feels that they did not do enough, and he feels complete opposite. You did more than enough.
Yeah,
I think that's very telling.
Yeah.
And so we get to see also that George and Dora have always been in love with each other.
Yeah.
This isn't some
cute.
Which is why Montrose couldn't really explain it. When he was like, oh, that's when he got mad at him in the alley about you, mama cheated on you or something. They were talking about cheating or something like that. Which is why he couldn't, it's not like that. He explained it's not like that. That's why he couldn't really explain it, because it was bigger than that. They had grown, they were loving each other from little kids, After the ass, that's what it was. It was an ass whooping. That was not no disciplinary.
No.
Girl, it's not.
Yeah.
Montrose runs off. They find out. How did they find out? Who tells who that the dance is off?
Somebody comes out of Dora's house and was like,
Okay.
we just got a call that the dance is canceled.
Yeah. So prom or whatever this dance is canceled. And just by luck that Montrose gets beaten and runs off, and they feel like they need to go find them, do they leave the house and not become victims later, which is crazy to me. And so they, George and Dora run off, go look for Montrose. And so as all of this is happening, of course, Letty, Montrose, present time Montrose, and Tick have been viewing this whole thing. I think, and this is when they realized that Montrose ran off. Okay, so this is what I'm confused about, and maybe you can give me some clarity. They keep saying George is going to get shot. When was that a part of the?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he was going to go. Okay, never mind. He was going to go warn him.
That's what he thought.
That's what they thought, was that he was okay. I got it.
Yeah.
That he was going to go warn him
about
the
dog
George.
Yeah, 1950s.
Okay, got it.
The future, basically.
Right. Okay.
So I guess that's when Tick is like, I gotta stop him, and Letty's like, well, I'll get the book, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They
so
have to split up.
Yeah, they have to split up, and again, every time individual adventures and journeys. So, is it now starting to get dark, or?
Yeah, I think it's starting to get dark.
So Letty's walking on the street.
Oh yeah.
This was another like wow moment. So a truck full of white men come with their guns, and they say eeny meeny miny mo, which I remember hearing from my childhood that was an offensive thing. Like I had always known that, but it still is something that people just say regularly. So it really was just used as sport, as to like randomly
just whatever, they're black, let's
kill them off. Like this is what I just don't understand and will never understand, is like the audacity to think that I can take another life for whatever the fucking reason. Like someone who's done no harm to you, who's, as we said, just trying to exist peacefully, but I'm deciding, you know what, I don't like you. I don't like the way you look. You're dead now. Like these people don't think, like, what?
For there to be zero consequences.
Zero, because the people who are in charge of consequences, in charge of the law, have the same fucking mentality.
And they don't care.
And they don't fucking care.
This is why we continue to see them legally do it and legally get away with it, because this is what they're used to.
This is what has happened.
They've been doing this.
Exactly.
Why would we switch it up now? We've been killing y'all and for free.
Somebody had posted
for no consequence.
Somebody had posted the Lovecraft, these reviews, like horrible Lovecraft reviews, and obviously they're coming from white people, but they're talking about how I could have done without all the politics, and the show has decent acting but throwing in so much race. And like, first of all, it's not that the show is crafting and creating all these racially like filled issues. It's recounting historical things that have happened. Like Tulsa happened, Emmett Till happened, experimentation on black people happened.
All of that was real.
All of these things, and they're terrible, horrible things. So yes, it's disturbing to watch now, and to be able to have that. You know what? I don't want to pay attention to this because I don't like seeing that. That's white privilege.
Hello,
that is white privilege.
You can even do that.
Right.
The fact that you can even turn your back and be like, you know what? I can't.
I can't, because they couldn't. We couldn't. The people in Tulsa couldn't. Emmett Till couldn't. Like. And again, that's why you see these things happening today in 2020, because it has been happening for hundreds of years. 1921 is a year from being 100 years ago. And so we know how bad it was prior to that. So of course, in between, we're still seeing these things. We're still seeing present day lynchings and mobs and murders.
And it's like, of course, by 2020, we're fed up.
Yeah.
Of course we're tired. Of course we burning shit up and breaking shit and cussing people out, because the shit that y'all that you see in Lovecraft, y'all been doing that. You've been doing that, and then the audacity of you to walk around like, yeah, I'm still doing. Whoa, really? Walking around trying to intimidate other people of color while you're really okay with that. You're really okay with with rehashing that 1921. You're
Oh,
really okay with that?
Oh yeah, so that
Because
they can
that's
make
what
America
we-
great again.
Come on now.
The
That's
fuck?
the great you like when you could just kill people for
Man.
sport and fun.
Yes.
Because that's what we end up seeing. And then Letty, and then they point the gun at her like, you're next.
Right, with the eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That's, sorry, we got off on a
No,
tangent.
but that's
it was
what
necessary
it was.
though.
It was
but
necessary.
So that's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a N-word by the toe. If she hollers, like, I don't think, they probably didn't let her
I don't
go.
think they...
But I don't even know if they got that far. But then they start trying to shoot. Letty's now she
They
trashed
shot
her.
her.
Oh
But
yeah,
her
but she's still
invulnerability.
protected. So
Yeah.
she could have, if she was not protected by
She
the
would've been
spell,
dead.
she would have been dead just like that. Just because she's on a mission on her own personal journey. She has to get this thing, and these white people decide, you know what, this one, let's kill this one. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So she's running. Georgia Montrose's dad comes out first with his gun and starts shooting back. Then Dora's dad comes out because it's really some us versus them type shit. Like the black people are armed, the white people are armed. Like,
And they wonder why people
Right.
feel that way now, because it's always been that way.
It's always
How can no
fucking
one think that it's
been.
not still that way when your ancestors not too long, and I told somebody today, that's what I feel like white family secrets are. Them white family secrets are the secrets that they great-great-grandfather were the ones burning down buildings for black people. I feel like those are like, we know, y'all know who it is. I feel like that's why some of y'all go so hard and be so fucking extra all the time, because you know that it was your your whole fucking family was down with that shit.
Evils, man.
Woo!
Evils. Man,
Don't get me
I'll just say real quick too, because I want to get back, to the scene. But this girl, this needed to be said too, all of it. But this girl had posted in the group that she knew that this episode was going to be coming, and that her I don't know if it's great or great grandfather lived in Tulsa. They said it was an area of Tulsa called Greenwood, and that the family only would refer to it as Greenwood. They don't even call it Tulsa because of the association, but the family was thriving. They all had their own individual homes, and they had a familial home too, but all of it was burned. She said it was like they ransacked the home, they burned it down, and only 4 people in her family survived, and that's what she was able to come from, her great-great-grandfather. But she said ever since then, and still to this day, her family only has lived in all black areas because they've been fearful of intermixing with white people.
And you're gonna tell me that that's not generational trauma?
Right, and that's not relevant today.
That black people, if that is not the pure sign of PTSD, I don't know what the fuck is. And how generationally you can pass PTSD down.
Of course.
And if you think that black people don't suffer from slavery PTSD, you are out
of your
mind.
Fucking
it is disgusting.
Mind. It's
all
the things that lead that even today, even with having multiple children, there are things that people look down on black families for. That slave mentality. They wanted them to have more children so
they
could be
legacy.
Like this is what has been.
Then they try to go in
us.
on you,
Girl.
because then they try, and it's nasty how we perpetuate it within ourselves too. Because we'll go in, oh look at her with her 5 kids, great. Her legacy can continue.
Yep.
5 times over, God willing. Like, look at what they're doing to us. Great that there are 5 more black babies out here. I am happy. Let's grow them. Let's pour into them. Let's keep them here. Let's keep them strong, so that those 5 can then go have 5 more.
Go forth and prosper. It's only a problem when they're black though, because these shows, 32 kids and counting or whatever the fuck.
Come on now.
Those are prized on TLC. Like we love it. We love it. Like
it was sensationalized and cute when John left Kate. You remember, and then she became a single mom, and then it was like
single white female, right?
A single white chick with 8 kids, and so they give her her own show. Please, let a black woman.
Is that glorified?
Oh, now, come on now.
But how many children your president had by 3 many different women?
Come on now.
All right. So,
let a man leave a woman with 8 kids, and she black, and we ain't hearing the end of how trifling she is. We not.
But we live in a Lovecraft
country. We let Kate have that little cute little bang short pixie cut looking stupid out of.
I always think of the dog. Was it George?
Yes. with that Isaiah Blackman haircut. Anyway,
yes. Okay, sorry.
This episode will do it to you, honey.
It will do it, and it's so necessary. So now, where we at? So Letty runs in the house, and it's nighttime. Like it is. We know what the fuck is going down. Letty knows what's going down, but they allow her in because she's running from these white people seeking shelter. So she doesn't exactly want to like say what's going to happen, of course, because you can't alter the future. But they're like, we need to know, like, you know, where they come from. She's like, there's a truck following them down the street, and even that she's kind of like hesitant about telling them. But
like it's closing in.
It's closing. Like there's nothing you can do, right? Oh. So they kind of are dispersing in the house. Everyone's getting their guns, whatever. Mm-hmm. Letty goes to look for the book.
Mm-hmm. And Hattie, this is Dora's grandmother?
I think so.
Hattie finds her snooping.
Yeah.
And she's like, what you doing?
What you doing? Like, pulls out the gun. Like, straight up, what you doing? Like,
even though they are battling the white people,
I don't know your intentions rummaging through my house, homegirl. What do you want?
What are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm just looking, trying to get a good shot. Girl, you was all in the sock drawer.
Right. What you shooting in there, right? Try again.
You got no gun in the hand, so you're trying to get a good shot. Mm-hmm. And she frantically pretty much tries to explain to her that she's from the future. She's here to save her legacy. She needs the book of names, blah, blah, blah. Hattie is putting 2 and 2 together and is like, okay, well, if you're here to come and get this book, that means that we're probably not going to
make it. Especially you coming right now. Like, you gotta get it
at this particular time. I love how there's no skepticism, which goes to also show that there is magic within Dora's family.
Oh, yeah. She wasn't shocked.
Not at all. She was just kind of like, okay.
And because Letty showed, she was like, the family birthmark, this is the symbol.
Yeah.
Too.
She was like, okay, well, okay, par for the course. Okay, when you fucking with real bitches. Okay, so I see you. Okay, got it. And so it almost seems like she's not going to give her the book. Like she was getting ready to run out. Then she doubles back and pulls the door back. It's like a picture.
A picture, yeah.
Pulls the picture.
Like how people had safes in the wall.
Yeah, it's like she opened the picture and gives her the book of names. Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, yeah, because the bitches is smart. They find a spell to counteract whatever the fuck Christina is about to do on episode 10. Because all she got is pages. Y'all got the book,
the whole book.
I hope y'all got a plan. Don't let me down, girl. So yeah, she gives her the book of names, and then this is when it just gets completely emotional.
Yeah. And there's, so again, 2 things happening at the same time, 2 evils attacking.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see, I guess we just like close out this scene first. You can kind of see, the white people show up outside and they're throwing their bottles and, you know, the lit things in the house and catching on fire. So the house is starting to catch fire. And, it's going up in flame. And Dora, again, she says...
Not Dora, Hattie.
I'm sorry, Hattie. Mm-hmm. Hattie. Dora's grandmother says, my grandson will be my faith turned to flesh. Mm-hmm. And she starts, you know, she asks Letty to pray with her, I guess. And she starts, you know, reciting
and it's
prayer.
like you can't leave somebody in that moment. How traumatic to sit there and hold hands with somebody that's burning to death. My God. For the legacy of the child that you now have in your womb. My God.
Oh my God. Yes.
I mean, do y'all want us to like be able to progress throughout the day? Or do you just want us sulking every time we think about this show?
And Hattie looks so like regal and just gorgeous and just elegant, like
she literally didn't scream until her body started blackening. It was almost like, okay, God, you know, full acceptance. Oh my God, I can't. So Letty watches her burn, and then she leaves.
Now, and in real life, did you see this about how during that scene when it was being filmed, journey, Smollett actually did get burned. Did you see that?
Yes, she had wrapped up her arm.
Yeah.
And then I love that she said she finished the tape.
She was like, yeah, the fire got too close, but I finished the tape.
It looked like it got too close.
Yeah. And, you know, even that presence of mind to be like, you know what, I can force myself to go through this as an actress. But as an actress, to take that because you know what you're portraying. And the people who went through it didn't have the option to be like, okay, cut, let's get at it. Like, their lives were taken. So
that was a nice sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, on some real shit. Like, it
For real.
was a whole moment. It was no way she could have been like, guys.
Right. So simultaneously, we cut over to now Montrose. And Tick shows up too. Montrose is watching young Montrose first by himself, and Tick's like, you can't warn Uncle George about the shooting, and he's like, that's not what I'm here for. And he's like, well, what are you here for? So then young Montrose's little friend shows up. I remember his name, Tommy.
Yes.
So and essentially, like, now we know from the story he told Dee, like, the white people, they got my best friend too when I was young. But this was somebody, it seems that, you know, they were like a puppy love type of best friend thing. And because of what he just went through with his father, he was telling his friend, Tommy, I can't be with you because you are the F word, and I'm not. And another thing is Montrose understanding, like, those were the last words that I said to him, you know, before he was killed, before he was murdered. So he's like, I gotta save his life. And Tick's like, you cannot, like, it can alter the future. Like, I might not be here if you do that. Like, you might not end up with Dora, like, all these things. Like, please don't do that.
But Montrose was coming up with all the excuses.
He's like, it won't change nothing. It won't. He was like, you know,
like, I always wanted this son. I always wanted
which, I mean, that was pretty powerful too. He's like, that was just the first in a set of sacrifices I made to choose the life of becoming your father. So
this one little thing ain't going to hurt.
Right. So we don't know if it would or wouldn't have, but still, it must proceed as it had, really. So he watches as his best friend is murdered, like
right in front of his face.
Right in front of his, literally, like, splattered, the blood all over. It's
brain matter all over him and everything.
Terrible.
There was only one person there with a gun. Everybody else didn't have. Yeah, because remember he said, you know, if everybody had a gun, we wouldn't have made it out that.
True. Okay. Yeah.
So he had that one. He had a gun. And so they were like, oh, this is the story. So we know that there's that running story of this person that appears like Jackie Robinson and busts everybody.
Well, but first, though, George and Dora show up.
Oh, yeah. So George and Dora show up.
Because the guys are still trying to, like, basically...
They're trying to
terrorize
Montrose.
Not just kill him off, right? It's kind of like a game now of, like, torturing him, punching him around. So they come and
they run up. They find him. They run up. And they all start... you know, trying to attack them, pretty much fighting back. And so this is when Tick has the realization that, oh, this is that story that you guys always talk about. And so they're waiting for this mysterious stranger to appear, and he's like, well, what's going on?
Yeah, they're getting their asses beat.
And they, at this point is going down. Like, things are, and this is exactly how the story went, right? That, you know, they was getting beat down. And Tick is, like, trying to figure out what's going on. He takes a step. And he steps into a baseball bat. But that was also the baseball bat. Whatchamacallit had that baseball bat. Montrose had that baseball bat when he first came into the alley. Or
did he?
Yes, he did.
Where did he get that from?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe he was going to use that to save old boy.
Yes, Thomas. Yes, I don't know where he picked that shit up from, but he had that shit. But he had ended up dropping it at some point on the ground, and then that's when Tick had that's when Tick had hit the bat, and that's when he noticed, oh, it's me, I'm Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
And he went and knocked them heads, girl, and they talked about it in the Facebook group. I know you saw it. When they talked about how the gratification they got when he also whooped the white girl.
I was like, she can get it too. All of y'all can get it.
Rated for everybody.
Yes. Everybody.
Yes, they are. Like little white bitch in a pink dress with your prom.
Yeah, what you thought? You here for it? Bop. Right. Yep. You part of the mob now, sweetheart. Yes. And she was that the one she got up, right?
Yeah, and it was like, oh, yeah, bitch, you should have been hanging with these
fuck you with these fuck ass white boy
stupid. So he
store.
went in on them. He beat them down to a pulp, and he knew exactly what to say because the story has always been said. I got you, kid.
Yeah.
And he says it, and they're looking at him in awe, which is like heart.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm like, you looking at y'all flesh and blood, like
Flesh
you're a
and blood,
hero. Like how
yeah.
dope is that? So then that scene comes into fruition.
People also in the group are like, I don't understand how Tick was the stranger. Like,
how do you not understand?
How do you not understand? But
how do you not understand? Time was
time
set.
is
It, right, and it was art. Like this was something that was going to happen. Nothing could severely like be changed. You know what I'm saying? Because Tulsa, Oklahoma was burned to the ground. Period. It was nothing nobody could do to stop that.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. So nobody could do anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a thing like this. It had already been set. It had already been set. And so then we double back. So now the portal is closing.
Yeah, Tick and Montrose get back from the scene where they were, and they're waiting for Letty. Tick is looking for her. He's calling for her. Letty, where you at? She's not there yet. So Montrose notices something's wrong with the portal. So Tick jumps back in it to try to figure out what's wrong, and he sees Hippolyta like. I don't even. It looks like she's being electrocuted. Like it's like foaming at the mouth. Like she's going through it. And I think at one point she's like, I can't.
Yeah, she's like, I can't hold it. Like she's fighting to hold the portal open. When you think about it, girl, they've been there for a minute.
I know. but as she was going for 200 years, and like it probably was a good hour maybe in the real life. I don't know. But so she was holding it open.
She held it open that whole time. So she's struggling to hold it open. At this point, I mean, there are helicopters, and this shit fucked me up too because I was like, helicopters dropping bombs. What the fuck is this? Hold on now. Like,
that's why I said it was an organized thing. So
very organized.
Everybody was in on it. Like the town of Tulsa, like.
Where y'all getting these helicopters with bombs from? Like that sounds like
and you know they're not
shit.
bombing no white people, so they you had to know when to drop the bombs, where to drop the bombs. It was very purposeful, targeted, intentional.
He's like pretty much in a trance and is going through the town and listing all of the people's like. Because he's like, it looks like he's on a main street.
Yeah, what building are they?
They were like in a hotel or something like that.
So yeah, he's just watching.
So they were on a main. He's watching from this window, and he's going through like looking at all of the buildings, like famous doctors, like Negro surgeon is what he called like
the best in the country.
Yeah, the best in the country.
Shot in the face.
And he's just going through this whole list of all of the things that were happening, and he's just stuck in a trance, pretty much watching his hometown just to be burnt.
Yeah, reliving this nightmare terror again. I mean, it's bad enough to go through once, but then to go through twice is like what?
Fully grown and understanding that this is the reason you drink, and I mean, really,
all of the things. Oh, you know what? Another thing I thought about. I wonder if his childhood friendship relationship with Thomas is also what kind of obviously just understanding what happens to gay males in the 50s. As was in the 20s, but maybe why he didn't want to like be so close with Sammy. Like even behind closed doors, he wasn't trying, because he was afraid of losing that close love again.
It's been so many things. Like, and remember he told that story about the pastor that got caught and what happened. Like, it's so many things that will make him feel like I cannot be out loud with this. Like,
but even behind closed doors, he was still like grumpy toward him.
I mean, still,
like he never fully let him in, like lovingly.
I mean, but still, that the trauma from the father is still there.
You're
like
right,
I can't be soft. I can't do like it was coming from so many different ways. Other people will see me this way, and then I got my whole fucking left side beat the fuck down for feeling this way too. It's just I can't let myself feel that way, like ever.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
very traumatic.
What a time.
While all of the bombs are happening, we see Letty coming through with the book of names, walking
through the fire. As what do you know the name of the poem that was being?
Remember we heard it.
Catch the Fire.
Catch the Fire. And remember Sonia Sanchez. And remember we heard it on the virtual reality thing.
Okay.
It was when I can't remember which world they were in.
Those are great. Those
yeah, they're super
yeah.
dope. You should check them out. And so they're saying the poem, but then it turns into opera. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, so fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because also, so a powerful point I thought. So when we see Hippolyta struggling and she says, "I can't hold it open," I feel like she meant as in that version of like Hippolyta. You know what I mean? So she like basically, as you said, transformed into Orinthia Blue. Like we see her like levitating. It looks like Storm from X-Men. Like her eyes are white and her hair is slowly turning blue, but her mouth is wide open as this operatic note is hit. Did you?
Oh yeah,
it was so beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the person that she was being for them but couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
as she said, that headlight is so small.
So small, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. And she was her voice was so soft when she said it. It was it wasn't even no shade. It was like a loving thing. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, but she's so small. Mm-hmm. But yes, and she transforms. She gets the power and transforms into Orinthia Blue hair, just as blue as a woman.
Yes, dope. Which for the 50s, that's super badass. Like, a black woman with blue hair.
She looking good, looking straight out of the comic book. Do you hear me? Okay. And she falls out, and the first thing she asks is, "Did we get it, bitch?" Not even like anything else. Or did we get it? And everyone's finally. I feel like I finally could breathe after all of everything that went through, and Letty finally
makes it. Her and Montrose at the same time
both make it through.
And
then we see that Hippolyta's not dying; she's transforming.
Yeah, she's good.
And it's like, oh my God! Finally, I can exhale.
Yeah,
we got what we needed into the episode.
Got the whole motherfucking book. And that was the first episode where that music, the opera music, carried through
instead of Cinnamon. I love my Cinnamon.
Yeah, I know, but that was powerful. It was like, no, we need to keep it, like, just keep it going.
Yeah, because like I said, it was that breath. It was like,
oh yeah, powerful.
What did I just look at? Powerful episode, amazing, 10 across the board. If y'all don't give Michael K. Williams an Emmy for this, like I know I've said it in a previous episode, but this episode
it's right here. Is she right here? Oh, right.
The emotion, that man pulling it for y'all. He is pulling out. And then I was reading somewhere that he was saying, oh fuck, what interview was it? Anyway, I was reading somewhere that he was saying that after the taping of this, he had to go to therapy. And simply because it was drawing up so much. And if anyone has ever watched any interviews of him in the past, he talks about his childhood trauma and molestation and things of that nature.
Oh wow, okay.
So he, child trauma pretty much. And so he had to go to therapy after that. So if you look at his Breakfast Club interview, I can't stand Charlamagne the God, but y'all look at his Breakfast Club interview, check out his life and things that he's talked about and why he chooses the roles that he does. It's not a coincidence that he chooses roles of people that are hiding their sexuality or on the fence about their sexuality. If you watched him on The Wire, he does this intentionally, y'all. Okay. So please check out some of his
respect.
Previous
put some respect on his name.
I mean, really, because he is bringing. Everybody is.
They really are. I mean, it's really a fucking all-star cast.
It is.
It really, truly is. Even I saw the woman who played Hattie, Grandma Hattie. She was like an actress forever.
She's
and like
beautiful.
Yes.
What is that? I can't think of it. It was a movie I saw her in, and her face is just like, it's something about the way her eyes are low that just gives her this like really like beautiful exotic look. Yeah. Yes, Black women can have exotic looks. Okay. So
I'm excited for the finale this Sunday.
I'm excited for it too. Girl. I don't know what they're gonna do. There's no way you're answering all those questions that I got next week.
So is there a season 2?
I don't know. Okay. I feel like they've been doing on HBO. They've been doing a lot of standalone seasons. Like you remember when Euphoria? That was just one season. True. Watchmen. That was just one season.
And I guess it's been hard to film things.
Oh yeah, recently. But we already know who not taking a day off. That old funky Tyler Perry.
Oh.
You're the only one I know that goes so hard and pumps out so much content, and we don't want
And it be.
Let me shut up.
I'm not even gonna talk about that.
We don't.
I'm not. I mean, respect to Tyler Perry. I'm not a fan of a lot of the things. I feel like it's just like the shuck and jive and how like it's just like not like black people can be shown in a better light, and it don't have to be just like making fun of.
Like he really went and made a show about a sex cult.
I didn't even know that.
Girl, look it up. They got dudes sitting in a circle without with their dicks out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah. It's called Ruthless.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's
Tyler, what you
stupid.
doing?
Exactly. What are you doing? Stupid.
All right.
Do you?
Yeah, do you? So next week, your cat. She wants me to touch her, but then she like moves crazy, and I think she
Like
bite
she's
me or
scary.
something.
No,
Yeah.
she's scary because when you try to pet her from the front,
Mm-hmm.
that's when she does like move. Like I don't get that. Like you want the affection, then you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
the affection. Whatever happened to her.
I was
in
gonna
the
say
street,
PTSD trauma.
I'm
Once
telling
again,
you,
trauma.
and I've had her since April, but she's still
only this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. We seem like we've been together for a minute. That's not familiar, girl. No, I just got her April. I was lonely in quarantine, and I was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a little
Like
friend.
I can't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we gonna decide what we gonna do for this finale party, and holler at you after Sunday. Peace.